All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Lauri Markkanen saga continues. At this point, I don't really know if it's worth it because we have a new report. It's from Shams. The Utah Jazz are requesting the bulk of the Golden State Warriors' best trade assets in a swap involving star forward Lauri Markkanen, according to The Athletic. He reported that it includes guards Moses Moody, B-Pod, forward Jonathan Kuminga, and draft picks, which has been a non-starter thus far for Golden State. So, I'm I'm kind of all set based on this. We know Danny Ainge, doing business with Danny Ainge just in general sucks, and he's definitely willing to wait this out. The issue really is that we're waiting for somebody to budge, essentially, because it has an expiring date. On August 6th, he's eligible to sign an extension, and if he does that with Utah, he won't be eligible to be traded until February 6th. And unfortunately, that happens to be the NBA deadline, the trade deadline. So hypothetically, if he signs an extension with Utah on August 7th or later, any day later than August 6th, he can't be traded at all this season. So the Jazz know that Lauri's the best attractive chip in the NBA trade market right now. So he's definitely willing to wait this out, and somebody's got to budge. I don't really think it's going to be Mike. I don't think it's going to be Golden State. We're going to go through this article here from Joseph Zucker. You can find it on Bleacher Report, and you can find his Twitter. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Warriors content. You guys are seriously blessing this channel so much. If you could try and get this video to 100 likes, I would really appreciate it. It's just, he's a really good player. The issue for me is... I'm not trying to give up Moses Moody, B-Pod, and Jonathan Kuminga and draft picks. I just don't really know why I'm going to do that for Lauri Markkanen. Lauri's a really good player, and unfortunately for Golden State, he's by far the best trade asset available on the open market. They're in a complete rebuild, though. They just won 31 freaking basketball games. He's been with Utah now for 2 seasons. He's only 27 years old. He's averaged 24.5 points, 8.4 rebounds, and he shot 40%, 39.5% from downtown. So, he's a star. He's a star in the NBA, but because he plays for the 31-win Utah Jazz team, he just flies under the radar. But obviously, given the trade deadline or the trade market right now, given his extension deadline, we're just kind of waiting on something. So this is an excerpt from that article from Joseph Zucker. Let's go through it. The front office is clearly driving a hard bargain for Markkanen, but probably has a price at which it is willing to concede. The 7-footer is entering the final year of his contract, while the Jazz are still a few years away from meaningfully contending. Flipping him for a talented young players and draft capital might be a smart value play than signing him to a market-level extension. Shams reported that the Warriors have been the most engaged team for Markkanen in recent weeks. The dilemma for general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. is whether acquiring the talented Finn is worth mortgaging what's left of the organization's future. If Golden State can give itself a puncher's chance of reaching the NBA Finals within the next 2 or 3 years, then you have to seriously consider giving up Kuminga, Moody, or B-Pod, and maybe all 3. Markkanen probably isn't the kind of cornerstone who helps achieve that. It's fair. It's a decent take. Lauri Markkanen himself with Steph Curry probably isn't enough, but that's where guys like B-Pod, that's where guys like Jonathan Kuminga, that's where Andrew Wiggins needs to just be the Andrew Wiggins from the NBA Finals season. You still have Draymond Green. You've got really intriguing pieces like TJD. You've had a great free agency thus far in D'Anthony Melton, Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson. But I'm not trying to give up all 3. The thing for me is, we keep talking about Moses Moody on this channel, and I don't want Moses Moody to go anywhere. But if I have to get rid of a piece, I'm willing to get rid of Moses Moody because Steve Kerr just has yet to give him a chance. He's yet to give him a role, and I think he's fully capable of coming up to the opportunity and the occasion. But Moses Moody is definitely a piece I'd be, somewhat interested in. B-Pod's really interesting because he's a do-it-all player. I don't want to trade B-Pod, but he's entering his 2nd season, right? We don't really know enough about Brandon and his future. Jonathan Kuminga is really interesting because he's kind of looking like the second scorer for Golden State this upcoming season. He's a rising young cat in the league. He's one of the most intriguing young players in the entire NBA. But he's going to want and he's going to get a lot of money. And so it kind of becomes, all right, do I want to run it with Jonathan Kuminga and all these young cats and, Steph and Dre and these new free agent acquisitions and just hope these young cats can rise to the occasion? Or do I use that Jonathan Kuminga trade value in the future extension and just, for Lauri Markkanen? And it's tough because, Jonathan Kuminga shows flashes of being a literal superstar. He shows flashes of superstardom. And I don't know, like the article kind of says too, I don't know if like Lauri Markkanen himself, even if I'm getting rid of Jonathan Kuminga, B-Pod draft picks and Moody for just Lauri Markkanen. I mean, like, come on, let's be real here. Like Danny Ainge, I mean, you got to budge a little bit. If I'm going to give you Jonathan Kuminga, if I'm going to give you Moses Moody, I'm going to give you Brandon, I'm going to give you draft picks, I'm going to need more than a freaking star for the 31-win team in the Utah Jazz. All right, I'm going to need more. And actually, while I'm at the topic, I'm going to need a lot more. You can throw in Walker Kessler, and you can also throw in a couple of things. I don't really know the Utah Jazz roster fully because they won 31 freaking games. Jordan Clarkson, I don't think is needed. Guys like Colin Sexton, I don't think is needed. But at the same time, it doesn't. The scoring is kind of needed to a certain degree, but that's also why you picked up dudes like Buddy Hield. That's why you got guys like Jonathan Kuminga. That's why you have Steph Curry. So it's just really interesting. Golden State can, and here's my big thing. Let's say Lauri Markkanen signs an extension on August 6th, but he still is getting trade rumors around the trade deadline. Well, I just don't like trading for dudes at the trade deadline. I don't like trading for stars or superstars or whatever at trade deadlines, because at February 6th, you have like 2 months to prepare this run. And, Lauri is a player. He's just a dude who I think can fit seamlessly on pretty much any team. And I think his fit on Golden State is probably the best in the entire NBA, even including the Utah Jazz, because I don't really think they need him. But I don't want to trade for him at the trade deadline. And if you don't trade for him now, and you don't trade for, I don't know who else they can trade for from here until the start of the regular season, because I need these guys to build chemistry. I need to get this team right for an NBA championship run. So, if Lauri's not traded to Golden State by August 6th, I'm actually all set. All right, I'll just say it. But let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for Daily Dubs content. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that report. I'm not a huge fan of it, but let me know if I'm wrong or if you think differently. Peace.